So today we are going to be talking about frequency tables. A frequency table is a type of table that organizes data when there's a lot of it. So to break down the word frequency first and foremost, it is just how often a number occurs or happens in a data set. So for example, if we look at this table, the number 0 happens 4 times. The number 1 happens 12 times. So we're going to look at this data set and we are going to find the average or the mean when it's in this format. The word problem says that a student administered a survey to his classmates. The survey asked students to indicate the number of pets each owned. Now the student wants to find the mean or the average number of pets owned. So this goes back to 6.02 and 6.03 notes. So again, a frequency table is just breaking up data into a more organized fashion. To show you what that would look like if it was not in a frequency table, we will write the data set down below. So if we didn't have it in this format and we wanted to write it like a data set that we've been used to writing, we would write it like this. We would write the number 0 4 times. We would write the number 1 12 times. 3, 4. We would write the number 2 8 times. As you can see, I'm running out of space. And we would write the number 3 2 times. So hopefully, by writing the data out this way, you can see why we want to use a frequency table instead of just listing the numbers. These numbers would be super hard to keep track of. If I wanted to find the median, I'd have to really go carefully and really slowly to figure out which number's in the middle. The mean, it would take a super long time making sure I added each number up. And the mode, it's not super easy to see which number occurs the most because they're all occurring pretty frequently. So instead, we write the data in a frequency table to organize it better. You might have noticed that the mode of this frequency table is 1 because the number 1 occurs 12 times. So the mode would actually be 1. So if we wanted to find the average, which is what the original word problem said, we would follow the steps on the left-hand side. So first we would multiply each value, and these are our values, by its frequency, and then add to get the total value. So that means I'm going to multiply across right now. 0 times 4 is 0. 1 times 12 is 12, I'm going to write it here. Times 8 is 16, and 3 times 2 is 6. So now, 12, 16, and 6, and 0 represent what I would have gotten when I added all of the zeros together. I would have gotten 0. If I added all the 1s together, I would have gotten 12. If I added all the 2s together, I would have gotten 16. And if I added all the 3s together, I would have gotten 6. But instead of adding one thing at a time, we multiply to get the same number. It's more efficient and it's more accurate and you're less likely to make a mistake. Now I'm going to add all of my values together to find my numerator. So 12 plus 16 plus 6. 6 plus 6 is 12. 13, 14. I carry the 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So this is going to be 34. That will be my numerator. So we always know that to find the average, we have to take the numbers added together and divide by how many numbers there were. So again, instead of counting up all of these numbers individually, I'm just going to count up their frequencies because that tells me how many times they occurred. And instead of counting up each number one by one by one by one by one, I can add up their frequencies to get the same value. So 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus 8 is 14. 14 plus 2 is 16. Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So then this becomes my denominator. Now in my calculator, because I don't want to do this by hand, I'm going to divide the total value by the total frequencies to get the mean. So I take my calculator, I put in the number 34 first. For the fraction, I write division because this is technically a division problem. And I get 1.308. I'm going to round that to the nearest whole number. And I'm going to round it to the nearest whole number because when I go back to the problem, it asks me, the student wants to find the mean or average number of pets owned. I wouldn't want to put a decimal because it's impossible to have part of a pet. So this means that on average in this student's classroom, people own about 1 pet. And we could also go back and look at the fact that our mode was also 1 to have maybe estimated this being the correct answer.